Hello, amazing English learners. Welcome back to Coffee English, where we unlock the secrets of real English fluency. Today, we are solving one of the most frustrating problems in English learning. You study vocabulary lists. You memorize hundreds of new words. You understand everything when reading or watching movies. But when you need to speak, in a meeting, on a date, during a job interview, your mind goes blank. All those beautiful words just disappear. This happens to almost every English learner, even very advanced students. You feel like you have two different brains. One brain that knows English perfectly when you are alone, and another brain that forgets everything when other people are listening. This episode will change everything for you. You will discover why your vocabulary hides when you need it most. You will learn the scientific reasons behind this problem. And most importantly, you will get powerful techniques to keep your words ready and available every single moment. After today, you will never again feel embarrassed because you could not find the right word. You will speak with confidence, knowing that your vocabulary is always there to support you. So grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let us dive into the mystery of disappearing vocabulary. Here is something that will surprise you. Research shows that the average English learner knows about 5,000 words passively, but can only use 2,000 words actively when speaking. That means 60% of your vocabulary is locked away, waiting to be used. Imagine you have a beautiful library with 5,000 books, but 3,000 of them are behind a locked door. You can see them through the glass. You know they are there. But when you need information quickly, you can only use the books that are easily available. This is exactly what happens with your English vocabulary. Your brain stores words in different ways. Some words live in your active vocabulary, ready to use immediately. Other words live in your passive vocabulary. You understand them perfectly, but cannot access them quickly during conversation. The good news is that this is completely normal and fixable. Your brain is not broken. You are not bad at English. You just need to move more words from the locked room into the ready-to-use section. Scientists call this the tip-of-the-tongue phenomenon. You know the word exists. You can almost feel it in your mind. But it stays just out of reach, like trying to remember someone's name at a party. The first trap is what I call the collection trap. This happens when students focus on learning as many new words as possible without connecting them to real experiences. They collect vocabulary like stamps or coins, counting how many words they know instead of learning how to use them naturally. Students in this trap love vocabulary apps, flashcards, and word lists. They feel productive when they add 10 new words to their collection every day. They memorize definitions, synonyms, and sometimes even example sentences. But when they try to speak, these words feel foreign and artificial. Here is what happens in your brain when you collect words this way. Each word gets stored separately, like items in different boxes. When you need to speak quickly, your brain cannot find the right box fast enough. The word exists in your memory, but there is no clear path to reach it. Think about your native language. You do not remember learning most of your words from lists or dictionaries. You learned them through stories, emotions, and real situations. Each word is connected to memories, feelings, and other words. This creates a strong network that makes vocabulary instantly available. The solution is to stop collecting words and start experiencing them. Instead of learning, frustrated from a flashcard, remember a time when you felt frustrated. Maybe you were stuck in traffic or your computer was not working. Connect the word to that real feeling and situation. Try the story method. Every time you learn a new word, create a short personal story using that word. If you learn exhausted, tell yourself, "Last night I was exhausted after working late. I could barely keep my eyes open during dinner." This creates an emotional memory that makes the word easier to find later. Use the connection technique. When you learn a new word, immediately think of 3 other words that relate to it. If you learn delicious, connect it to tasty, mouth-watering, and satisfying. Also connect it to specific foods you love. This builds a web of connections that helps your brain find the word faster. Practice the replacement game. Take sentences you already know and replace familiar words with new vocabulary. Instead of "I'm tired," practice saying "I'm exhausted," "I'm worn out," or "I'm drained." This helps new words feel natural in contexts you already use. The second dangerous trap is the translation trap. This happens when students learn English vocabulary by connecting every new word to their native language. They think "dog parrot" or "beautiful shern" instead of understanding English words directly. Translation seems helpful at first. It gives you a quick way to understand new words. It feels efficient and logical. But this method creates a serious problem. When you need to speak English quickly, your brain has to translate every word from your native language first. This takes time and often produces awkward, unnatural sentences. Students caught in this trap often say things like, "I am having 25 years," instead of "I am 25 years old," because they translate directly from their native language. They know the individual words, but they use them in patterns that sound strange to native speakers. The translation trap also makes your vocabulary disappear during stressful situations. When you are nervous, during a presentation or important conversation, your brain works slower. The translation process breaks down, and you cannot find words quickly enough. You end up using simple vocabulary that you know very well, even though you have learned many advanced words. The answer is to learn English vocabulary in English contexts. Instead of thinking, "Happy fellas learn happiness through English situations." "I feel happy when I spend time with friends." "Good news makes me happy." "Happy people smile more often." This creates direct English connections in your brain. Practice the definition method. When you learn a new word, write the definition in simple English instead of translating it. For courageous, write "willing to do dangerous or difficult things" instead of finding the translation in your language. This forces your brain to think in English patterns. Use the example method. For every new word, collect 3 real examples from movies, books, or conversations. See how native speakers actually use the word in different situations. This teaches you the natural patterns and collocations that make your English sound fluent. Try monolingual moments. Set specific times during your day when you think only in English. Start with 5 minutes while having breakfast. When you see objects around you, describe them in English without translating. "This coffee is hot and bitter." "The morning sunlight is bright and warm." The third trap is waiting for the perfect moment to use new vocabulary. Students learn beautiful, advanced words, but only use them when they feel completely confident. They save their best vocabulary for special occasions that rarely come. Meanwhile, they stick to basic words they learned years ago. This trap comes from fear of making mistakes with new vocabulary. Students worry about using words incorrectly or in the wrong context. They imagine native speakers judging them for small errors, so they keep their advanced vocabulary locked away, only bringing it out when they feel 100% sure. But here is the problem. If you never use new words, they stay weak and unfamiliar. They never become part of your natural speaking vocabulary. It is like buying beautiful clothes but keeping them in the closet because you are waiting for the perfect occasion. Eventually, you forget you even own them. Professional English speakers understand that making mistakes with new vocabulary is necessary for improvement. They would rather risk small errors than limit themselves to basic words forever. They know that native speakers make vocabulary mistakes too, and most people focus on understanding your message, not judging your word choices. The solution is to use new vocabulary imperfectly, but frequently. Set a daily goal to use at least 3 recently learned words in conversations, emails, or speaking practice. Do not worry if you use them slightly wrong at first. Each attempt makes them stronger and more natural. Create vocabulary challenges for yourself. Choose one new word each morning and find 3 opportunities to use it during the day. Maybe use fascinating when talking about a movie, a book, and a conversation with a friend. This repetition moves words from passive to active vocabulary quickly. Practice the upgrade technique. Take common sentences you use often and replace basic words with more advanced vocabulary. Instead of "that's really good," try "that's remarkable" or "that's outstanding." Instead of "I'm very busy," say "I'm swamped" or "I'm overwhelmed." This gradually raises your speaking level. Use the mistake journal approach. Keep track of vocabulary mistakes you make and learn from them. When someone corrects your word choice, write it down with the correct usage. Review these notes regularly. Mistakes become learning opportunities instead of sources of embarrassment. The 4th and final trap is learning words without understanding their social and emotional contexts. Students memorize definitions and example sentences, but miss the subtle feelings, formality levels, and cultural meanings that make vocabulary appropriate for different situations. This trap creates embarrassing moments. Students use formal words in casual conversations or casual words in professional settings. They choose words that are technically correct but feel strange to native speakers. Their vocabulary knowledge is accurate but not socially appropriate. For example, a student might say, "I must depart now," when leaving a casual party with friends. The word "depart" is correct, but native speakers would say, "I have to go," or "I should head out." The formal vocabulary makes the student sound like a robot instead of a real person. Context confusion also makes vocabulary disappear because students become uncertain about when words are appropriate. They know many words but worry about using them in the wrong situation. This uncertainty makes them choose the safest, most basic vocabulary instead of expressing themselves fully. The answer is to learn vocabulary with emotional and social context from the beginning. Pay attention to who uses certain words when they use them and how they feel when they say them. Watch how the same idea gets expressed differently in formal presentations, casual conversations, and text messages. Study register the formality level of vocabulary. Learn that purchase is formal, buy is neutral, and grab is casual. Practice switching between different registers depending on your audience. Use formal vocabulary in job interviews, neutral vocabulary in everyday conversations, and casual vocabulary with close friends. Practice the context mapping technique. For each new word, ask yourself, who would say this? When would they say it? How would they feel? Map words to specific situations. Exhausted might be casual complaining with friends. Fatigued might be formal medical descriptions. Wiped out might be very casual, almost slang. Use the audience adaptation method. Practice expressing the same idea using different vocabulary for different people. How would you tell your boss you are tired? How would you tell your best friend? How would you tell your doctor? This teaches you to choose appropriate vocabulary automatically. Today's phrase comes from the world of memory and confidence building. Our phrase of the day is, use it or lose it. This simple phrase contains the key to keeping your vocabulary alive and available. Words that you use regularly stay strong and ready. Words that you never practice become weak and harder to remember. Your brain keeps the tools you use and lets go of the tools you ignore. You can use this phrase to motivate yourself and others. For example, I need to practice my advanced vocabulary every day because use it or lose it. Or, let's try using some new words in our conversation. You know what they say, use it or lose it. This phrase works for all kinds of learning, not just vocabulary. Skills, knowledge, and even relationships follow the same rule. Regular practice keeps everything strong and available when you need it most. Let us review what we discovered today about disappearing vocabulary. First, the collection trap happens when you focus on learning many words without connecting them to real experiences. The solution is to create emotional and personal connections with every new word through stories and memories. Second, the translation trap occurs when you learn English words by connecting them to your native language. Break free by learning vocabulary through English contexts and examples instead of translations. Third, the perfect moment trap keeps you from using new vocabulary because you wait until you feel completely confident. Start using new words imperfectly, but frequently to make them part of your active vocabulary. Fourth, the context confusion trap happens when you learn words without understanding their social and emotional meanings. Study not just what words mean, but when, where, and how native speakers use them naturally. Your vocabulary is not disappearing because you have a bad memory. It disappears because it needs better connections, more practice, and deeper understanding. These problems are completely solvable with the right approach. Choose one trap that sounds most familiar to you and work on it this week. Notice how small changes in your vocabulary learning make big differences in your speaking confidence. If this episode helped you understand why your words disappear and how to keep them ready, please give it a thumbs up and share it with other English learners who struggle with the same problem. Your support helps us create more content that solves real language learning challenges. Remember to subscribe to Coffee English for more practical strategies that transform your English skills. We are here to help you speak with all the vocabulary you have worked so hard to learn. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the mystery of disappearing vocabulary. Remember, your words are not really gone. They are just waiting for the right connections and practice to become part of your confident, natural speech. The vocabulary you have learned is valuable. Do not let it hide in the shadows of your mind. Bring it into the light through regular use, emotional connections, and social understanding. Your English deserves to shine with all the beautiful words you know. Until next time, keep using your vocabulary, keep practicing with confidence, and keep believing in your amazing progress. Your words are ready to serve you. You just need to invite them to the conversation. This has been Coffee English. See you in the next episode.